Okay, using Mpumalanga 2020, I'm going to look at question 4.2.3, which says one of the directors of the company, feels that the company should pay back the loan, very critical, as soon as possible. Motivate your view about this. Quote two financial indicators, right? So the key word there is loan. So if you remember what I said when you are identifying ratios, the moment you see the word loan, then you know your first ratio is going to be the debt equity ratio. Right? The first ratio is going to be the debt equity ratio, and then the second ratio is going to be your return on total capital employed. Right? So this you must know from the previous video where I emphasized that you need to know the applicable ratio. So this question is talking about the loan, and because it's talking about the loan, you know that is the debt equity ratio. So you need to look at the information provided so that we see what we have. Okay, so on the information provided, you have got the debt equity ratio here, right? And we've got your return on total capital employed. So the debt equity ratio actually decreased. So it's going to be decreased from 0.4 is to 1 to 0.3 is to 1. So the ratio is there, the trend in the figure is also there. Now, the next thing would be to interpret. When the debt equity ratio decreases, it means the risk is what? Risk is decreasing. And if you look at this 0.3, it means the business is also lowly geared. That's how you get the other mark there. Now, you got your return on total capital employed. If you check here, your return on total capital employed decreased from 13 to 11%. So this one decreased from 13 to 11%. So you have that identification, the trend, and the quoting of figures. Now the next thing becomes to interpret. So in order to make it easy to interpret, you need to check the interest on the loan. So the interest on the loan is provided and it's given as 14%. It increased and it's 14%. So you need to compare this 14% with the 11. So you're going to say interest on loan of 14% is more than return on total capital employed of 11%. What does this show you? This shows you that the gearing is negative. Why negative gearing? Because your return, which is what the business is going to get of 11%, is less than what you're going to pay. So in this particular case, in as much as when you look at this debt equity ratio here, you can actually tell that the business is lowly geared, so it wouldn't be a bad thing for the. In fact, they are credit worthy. They've got the ability to get an additional loan. But when you look at the gearing now, it means that whatever loan that they are taking is going to be more expensive because they're going to be getting a return of 11%, yet paying interest on the loan of 14%. So the director who feels that the loan must be repaid is actually saying the correct thing, because we are saying the gearing here is negative. You are only receiving 11% as your return, yet you are paying 14% on that loan. So the loan is actually very expensive because it leaves you with a negative 3%. So yes, it is a good idea that the loan must be repaid.